wanted to stand up or wanted authority, they found this an ideal occasion that if I will do something, I can make my position strong. So some of these elders and who wanted to be some of these Diotrephes type of people, they stood up and they said that we are not just equal elder, but as somebody said, all are equal, but some are more equal. So these people said that, yeah, we are equals, but they are less, but I'm more equal, So, I'm number one, So they stood up and eventually, either by this way or that way, these men made the others to accept them as bishops, as leaders, And then there are small churches and big churches. Small churches with 10, 20 people, they are struggling on many issues, but big churches, 2,000, 3,000, they have big income, for example, they have big income, better buildings. And these small churches struggling, so they always look to the big church and they go for their help and all. So, they like it, they will give a little bit, some doll here and there, and then they are required to say that, the Sahab, that is the big metropolis, so they are called the metropolitans, they are called the metropolita, that's the metropolitan. So, over many elders, this church has established big. So, some by different ways have become, they have rose to prominence. Either bishops or patriarchs. Just the Eastern churches have the title patriarchs, and the Western churches had the title bishop, and from there the Pope came. So the Bishop of Rome gradually became the Papa Bishop. There are many reasons for that. Rome being the capital of the Roman Empire, the emperor is there. So the Bishop of Rome has more proximity to the empire, and all these small bishops will be coming to Rome for some benefit. They want a meeting with the emperor on this petition, that petition. So finally the emperor said to the Roman bishop, said, hey, let people come to you. Only issues that you cannot handle, let only those issues come be. And of course the Bishop of Rome made sure that he will solve all issues, so that he is the only one who will get to see the face of the emperor. So he consolidated his position. So, everybody came to him. So the more people came, he finally said that, I am the Papa of bishops, the father of all bishops. So that. You wanted to, they were willing to do anything or say anything, acknowledge anything, because that is the only way they can get some benefit from the emperor. Because only on his recommendation the file will move there, So, so the bishop at Rome became very powerful. By 461, Leo the first, it said that when he died in 461, papacy was well established. Means the position of the Bishop of Rome was well established, that he stood much taller than all the bishops, and they have to come to him. The city of Rome being the imperial capital city, and by the proximity of the bishop to the emperor, became very important. Other bishops needed the help of Roman bishop to gain many favors from the king. So they naturally obliged the Roman bishop. Slowly the Bishop of Rome began to make claims of authority over other bishops. They began to claim that history shows the bishops of Rome to be the final authority to settle matters. They began to use scriptures to support their claim. To Peter was the key of the kingdom given, they said that. So that key was handed over to the bishop at Rome. So he said, I still got the key, mean that authority, People could believe that very much, because, that's a place where Peter was, martyred, so naturally the key will be handed over to Linus as the first pope, after the second pope. The first was, of course, Peter. So the historical events also strengthen papacy. The weakening of the Western Empire, the attack of the barbarians. There was the Western Roman Empire was by this time was weakened. The barbarians kept on attacking Rome. Rome and the people at Rome were crying to the emperor. Emperor said, I'm weak. He has no. So it was the time when the Bishop of Rome stood out. He gathered people and he protected the city, defended the city of Rome. And he was a very good negotiator. He negotiated with these barbarians. And these barbarians were eventually brought into Christianity. And barbarians respected the Pope also very much. So the city of Rome was saved. So naturally, the city of Rome now belongs to Pope. There is a poor man called an emperor, but he was saying, thank you, Pope. You saved my crown. You saved my crown. So, Leo I was a very, very able man. So he saved the people and almost viewed Savior of Rome. So they begin to respect him instead of the emperor. For him, Leo the First was both the spiritual head and also the secular head. The destruction of Rome by Germanic invaders gave a boost to papal prestige because there is no more emperor. He is gone. So who is there? Only the Pope is there. The Bishop is there. The Bishop of Rome now had the most important offices in all the Western Empire. Pope did something good. The work of missionaries sent from Rome founded many churches among many tribes of Northern Europe. The great Boniface, missionary to Germany, stood very close to Rome. Missionaries were sent to other pagan countries, So what happened as the missionaries went the early days and they established churches here and there all the way to Ireland, England, many, many places, and all those places, wherever the missionaries came, the missionaries were loyal to Pope. So Pope had basically the authority structure very well spread all over Europe. The Muslim attack upon many important eastern cities like Syria, Palestine, Egypt, etc., removed forever the patriarchs of Antioch, Jerusalem and Alexandria. They were the rivals of the Roman bishop. These patriarchs were the rivals. Now the Muslims have defeated them and therefore these patriarchs have no voice. Either they were killed or they ran away or they became ineffective. So basically what we are saying is that the Pope became a more and more powerful person. He consolidated the power. The Bishop of Carthage in North Africa was also removed by Muslims. Many disasters fell upon the church and the Bishop of Rome was always there to help the people, whether it is epidemics or whatever may be. If the political power was gone, the spiritual power and the political power now confined in one man, the Bishop of Rome, and the Bishop of Rome became a very, very powerful person. In the Eastern Europe, there was no one man like that. There were many patriarchs, they were all equals. But in the Western empire, though the political empire is gone, the whole areas, there were no bishops who was equal to the Bishop of Rome. There was nobody. Nobody even thought of claiming, something. No. Along with that one, to consolidate the position of less material today. To consolidate the position of Pope, around the time of Charlemagne, there appeared a strange document called Donation of Constantine. You heard of it? Donation of Constantine? When Charlemagne was the emperor, they have unearthed a document. This document had told that the Emperor Constantine was cured of leprosy by the prayer of Pope Sylvester. Thereupon Constantine, out of gratitude to the Pope, decided to remove his residence to Constantinople. The early name was Byzantium. He changed it to Constantinople. His object in doing this was to liberate the spiritual government of Rome from the political government. On leaving Rome, Constantine is said to have added all offices in the city of Rome and all provinces to be subjected to Pope Sylvester I, added to his successors to the papal throne. He also transferred the city of Rome and all the provinces, districts, and the cities of Italy and of the western region. So according to this document, Constantine bestowed upon popes sovereignty over the whole Western Empire. It is called donation of Constantine. Donation of Constantine. So for a long time, Constantine gave it over to them. See, he moved his capital from Rome to, Constantinople, only to make the Bishop of Rome more free. He should have no interference from, even the emperor. Let him be free in Rome because he has cured my leprosy. But this was a fake document. This was a fake document, but everybody the Rome was hanging on to this one for a long time. For a long time means for a long time. It was in 1433, In 1433, the cheating was found out. So this was a major document. Even to this day it's a joke. Now no Roman Catholic, no Orthodox, no Protestants. Everybody knows this was a fake document. But for a long time, the Pope's position was secured by this false document. Now the thing is, these men will go to any extent to consolidate their position. They have no principle. People have no principles. And this sad that even, sometimes I think the so-called evangelicals also, you will find among them, people will do anything. In some times back, a man wanted to become a bishop and then a metropolitan, so there was nobody to ordain him. So he has offered it to one of the bishops of the CSI church a large amount of money, and that man ordained him. Then he was excommunicated by the church, but he said, no problem, I got enough money for my life. See, and interestingly, that man is a metropolitan now. That's a title he owns. So, I sat there and laughed and said that, you have nobody to make you a bishop, only because you have to be ordained by somebody. So, found somebody. What is the reward? So much money. So much lakhs of money. Take it, ordain me. He knew that he will be excommunicated by the church because church did not give him the permission. But once the hands of a bishop is laid and ordained, it cannot be taken back. See, that's it. That's a rule. See, the priest commit whatever sin, the priesthood is never taken away. Even you can excommunicate a priest, but you cannot take the robe away from the priest. The priesthood is permanent. Once you give it, it's given. So by crooks or by hooks, you get it, it's yours. What a tragedy, isn't it? When you think about it, what a tragedy. So this is a whole donation of Constantine, for a long time. Everybody talked about it, and that was a talk, and that, hey, Constantine before, his death, he has given over to the entire Western Roman Empire to Pope, Bishop of Rome. We are not claiming it. We got it by right. So that was a sort of. Then somewhere around the middle of the 9th century appeared another mysterious document. It is called Isidorian Decretals. Isidorian, Isidorian, Isidorian Decretal, Decretals. It is called so because these decretals were collected by by a man called Isidore of Seville. Isidore of Seville. This document consists of decisions of popes and councils from Clement of Rome to the first century in the first century to Gregory II in the 8th century. So this is kind of all the minutes, that are very nicely written down. According to this document, bishops could appeal directly to Pope, and that bishops and popes are not subject to the control of any government. The donation of Constantine was also included in this. This also said that Constantine has donated. Well, with these two great documents, the Roman Catholic Church, claimed that this is the church. The church. So when Protestants came, where do they have? Do they have a document like that? No, they don't have a document like that. Of course, Martin Luther didn't think of writing a donation of some other emperor, So he didn't have any document. But with these two documents, basically they could do anything. One document give away the whole Roman Empire, the Western Roman Empire, to the Bishop of Rome. And the other document liberated the popes and bishops everywhere, all over the world, from the control of the secular government. The bishops exercise a great amount of power. I had never been part of the Roman Catholic Church, so in my life, so I don't know actually how much power these priests and bishops have, but people in the Roman Catholic Church have told me that, even the priest, tremendous amount of power. One man told me that the priest in their church used to take a cane and beat people, Even 60, 70-year-old people were beaten by them for disobeying or for doing something wrong. They had that sort of power. Nobody would dare to beat them back. Nobody. Unless you are, somebody who doesn't respect them.
I studied in a Catholic school. I studied in a Catholic school. The father there had killed 2 boys. He pushed them into the well. No one could do anything.
They have the power. Of course, the children jumped into the well, right? The postmortem report says that, accidentally they have fell into the well, so, pushed his interpretation. That's the sort of thing. So this is actually, terrible, very, very much terrible. With these two documents, the Roman Catholic power has established, and they have amassed properties, and they have annexed, areas and buildings, and they could punish people. Even they could do anything they want. Especially when the ruling government is a Roman Catholic government that's respect and accept the authority of the bishop and the church, then any action done by the church will not be questioned or entertained by the authority. And even in other places, for example, you go to Goa, the story of Goa, history of Goa, you have to study that. Goa in whole India was a place where, it was the torturing chamber for India. Yes. In some of those monasteries there were basements where, people who either opposed or Protestants, they were taken all the way to Goa, where they were tortured even to the point of death. That's history. That's history. Well, who will question them? Because Portuguese were ruling Goa. So the administration is there, so who is going to question them? Nobody can question them. But even today, in places where, Rome has complete or Catholics have complete control, you dare not to distribute a tract there. You dare not to distribute a tract there. You will feel. In India, of course, Kerala, Pala is the Rome of India, they say that. When I decided to go to Pala for, my work, and everybody who loved me, and even people who hated me, they advised, don't go there. Said, they told me, don't go there. It's a dangerous place. And it was a dangerous place, indeed, Of course, it was not as dangerous as it used to be when I reached there, but still dangerous enough. Still dangerous enough. And that place was, it was a dark place. It was dark in every way. The Roman Catholic Church was, they could do anything they want. Anything they want. We were conducting a meeting there in the town, and we covered the entire town with loudspeakers. Every poster had a loudspeaker. One right before the bishop's house also. So, halfway the meeting was going on, message was going on, the circle inspector came and was so angry and said, shut it up. Then we thought, what was, we had permission to shut it up, So we had to shut it up because, he came in a whole jeep full of people, said, shut it up, And we asked him, what's wrong? We got permission and all. He said that, well, you got permission. I know you have the right to say it, but that man there, the bishop, asked us to come and stop it. So he didn't like it. He said there that he had no business of interfering in this one, but I have to obey it. Why? Because if I don't obey, I'll be transferred tomorrow. The power, then we felt the power, Felt the power. We were going to conduct a camp there, and we, of course, we made arrangements with the hotel for supplying food and all and everything. Right the night before 9 o'clock, we went just to confirm it, and the hotel man laughed and said that, no, we will not supply food. Why? Because Bishop Cole said no. Do it. Next morning people were coming. Where will you go? About 400 people also came, the first time, and where will you go? I'm very new in the city, and there is. Well, by God's grace, we did this and managed it. But the thing is, if the bishop call and say that no, that means no. I rented a house. The owner of the house was classmate of the bishop there. So he called him, said, I want you to evict that man immediately. But that owner was, had the guts to say that it's none of your business. He said that it's my house, I decide whom I will give. So I stayed there 7 years. And not only I stayed there 7 years, for another 7 years, that building was in my hand, because church was meeting there. Yeah, everybody said, remove. He said, no. He said, you can interfere only in spiritual matters. This is my personal matter. So, such bold people you won't find, very many places. He was bold enough. Maybe for them he was too bold. But for me he was, yes, he came and told me that. After coming there, I was called by the bishop, and this is what he called them, and I told him at his face that you mind your own business. I said, you stay here. Nobody can evict. So the power, I felt the power of the Roman Catholic Church was there. Everywhere it was there. I have printed 10,000 tracts. 1 week after I reached there, that was the Saint Alphonsus festival. There's a saint there. And the title of my tract is The False Teachings of Roman Catholic Church and Answers to Them from the POC Bible. That's their Bible, the Catholic Bible. 10,000 I distributed. I didn't know that these people were that bad, to be honest. If I knew it in advance, I knew they were bad, but if I knew they were this bad, I would not have done it. I'm not a man of that courage. Anyway, I did it and nobody did anything to me. And I was surprised, nobody did. But of course, the next Sunday, the bishop's letter was read everywhere in all the churches in the diocese of Palai that a man has come like this and that nobody should receive him in home. വീട്ടിൽ വന്നാൽ ചൂലെടുത്ത് അടിച്ച് വന്ന സ്ഥലത്ത് എത്തിക്കണം എന്ന്. That is, take the broom and beat him all the way back to his home. But I got a card, from one of the men, Joseph Pulikunden, he sent a card and said that I would like to meet you immediately. Please, can you come to my office? So I went to his office and he gave me, I said that I really appreciate you were putting bombs in Vatican City. How you dared to do that, And he gave me all support. He said, I'm behind you, you keep doing it. Yeah, he was a rebel Catholic. Yes, he was a rebel Catholic. He was thrown out of their college, he was in Pulikundan, he was professor in Calicut, Devari College. From there he was, and so he was a rebel Catholic. And
He also translated Bible.
Yes, he had this Hosanna Bible by him,
What's his name?
Joseph Pulikundan. Pulikundan is his house name actually, Joseph Pulikundan. So, oh no, Avsapajan is in Wayanad. Yes, Avsapajan was not a believer at that time. Avsapajan came no, Avsapajan became a believer around that time. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Joseph Pulikunden was a very tall figure.
Yeah, he was a very influential figure, very influential, very powerful, rich. And of course, I had good friendship with him, Anyway, that's another story. So, this sort of thing, they were very, very powerful people, very, very powerful people. It was very difficult to operate in that field. But we went every home, few people received us, very few people. But I tell you honestly, I baptized some 30 plus good Roman Catholic men, not children, who are all, thorough Roman Catholics first year in the city of Palai. The Lord did it, I did it. The question came where will the first baptism will be? So, it was a question. There was a Pentecostal man there, so I went and asked him, he was a businessman, he said, if you had to baptize, don't baptize in Palai, take them to Kottayam somewhere. This will be very dangerous. Nobody has dared to do it. And I always was tempted to take them to Kottayam, but these 36 people said, no, only in Palai, we want to be baptized. Man, when they said that, I had to, I said, whatever comes, we are not going to run away. This is our place, we are going to be baptized there. And man, with fear and trembling, I got into the water. And interestingly, as I was baptized, one person, there comes a man in a boat, in a small, what do you call it, canoe, He came in and with the oars and all that, and he wanted to beat up and saying that, what are you doing it? There were so many people who were watching. They encountered with him, said, what's your business? What business you have? They are doing whatever their religion, you mind your own business. So because of the majority of the people who was against them, we ran away. And we comfortably done the baptism also. And very, very interesting,
So where, in the river?
In the river. The river. It's a public river. Meenachila, yes. Interestingly. Yeah.